So this is now week 10 of the course. And as I said earlier, week 10 will be a little bit more challenging than week 9 in terms of concepts. But there will be less material, I guess, to cover than in week 9. So what will we cover? Well, the main thing we'll see this week is inheritance. And we'll see single or linear and multiple inheritance. And to understand this, we'll need to talk a little bit about the method resolution order. And also we'll need to talk about super to know how to deal with multiple inheritance. So this whole week will be based on one example. An example of animals, or a class called animal, and a few other classes, one for horse, one for cat, etc., etc. So once we know a little bit more about object-oriented, we can start looking at some of the protocols that are involved in Python. And one of those protocols is the iterator protocol. So this week I'll tell you a little bit about how iterators work, or iterables as well. So what allows you to do iteration over all kinds of different objects with the for loop, for instance. Now, I'll also say a little bit about the loose ends of object-oriented in Python, what I didn't really cover in detail and what I won't cover in detail. So this would be, for instance, bound versus unbound methods, static methods versus class method versus instance method, and things like that. I'll also give you some advice on how to program with object-oriented programming. So when to use composition and when to use inheritance, how the two are kind of antagonistic and why people usually say that composition is better. Next week, I'll also talk about all the different modules that require object-oriented programming in order to be used. So I wasn't able to fit it in this week's material, so we'll see that next week.